What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the latest 5,000 IQ big brain play from Gabe over at Valve. Gabe Newell, for those of you guys that don't know, is the CEO and founder of Valve. I think founder, either way, very important guy over there. And he's obviously been talking about the Stream Deck thing they're releasing, and in a recent interview he said something that finally made it click as to why they'd be willing to enter this market. And it's basically that they want this to become an entire new section of PC. Yeah, that's right. Gabe wants other PC makers to create their own Steam Decks. And this makes a lot of sense. I feel like a lot of companies have tried to break into the gaming console market, and it just really hasn't necessarily worked. And so Valve isn't a company known for taking insane risks, so I was kind of surprised they were doing it, but this makes sense. You see, if they make this like an entire thing, if handheld computers become the norm, everybody starts making them, it doesn't really matter whether or not you buy the Valve Steam Deck. If you buy it from them or not, sure, you buy it from them, they make some money. But more importantly, the more that they have people playing Steam games everywhere, because that's where most people play games on the PC, the more money that they end up making regardless. Like, even if you go buy an Asus handheld computer, chances are at some point you're gonna make a Steam account and buy a game on Steam, at which point they also get paid. So they either basically have this console, which every time they sell one they make money, or they make an entire industry which gets people way more addicted to playing Steam games everywhere, not just on a desktop, and they make even more money. The whole double dip method, if you don't have a place for selling Steam games mobilely, then you just make a platform, force everybody else to start making one too. Next thing you know, all the Candy Crush moms got a Steam Deck and they're spending $18,000 a month on CSGO skins from their husband's Amex. Valve wants the Steam Deck to be the starting point for a whole new handheld PC ecosystem. Speaking to IGN, Gabe Newell has stated that the relatively low price point for the Steam Deck was painful but critical, and he also goes on to state that his expectations is that it's going to be a jumping off point for establishing a product category that benefits Valve in the long term. That means he hopes other PC manufacturers are going to get on board the deck train and release their own versions of the handheld PC, likely hoping that they're running the bespoke mobile version of SteamOS that they created for it. Our view is, if we're doing this right, that we're going to be selling these in millions of units and clearly going to be establishing a product category that ourselves and every other PC manufacturer are going to be able to participate in, and that's going to have long-term benefits for us, so that's the frame in which we're thinking about this. People already spend way too much money on their Steam account, you know what I mean? I can't tell you the amount of games I've bought during a summer sale or a winter sale only to never play again. I couldn't imagine how much worse it would be if I had one in my pocket at all times and I could convince myself that, no, I'll definitely really play this at some point when I'm on a flight, even though I don't really go anywhere. Realistically, it really does benefit Valve either way. If theirs does well, obviously they get credit for pioneering the genre, but beyond that, they get everybody buying their games. And as you notice there, apparently they made an operating system that, wouldn't you know it, super conveniently can be put on Stream Deck platforms. And I would assume that the number one store that's prioritized on their operating system would be theirs, so there's that double dip effect, same thing, whatever. Either way, they're getting it from both ends, you know what I mean? I think this is a really big brain play. I think the demand for mobile gaming is obviously on the rise. I think the Switch has done really well, and people don't really like playing on their phones either. And the one thing that's always held me back from getting into mobile gaming is I don't know if I want to buy entirely new games. Whereas if I can just bring my Steam library over, okay, now we're cooking with gas a little bit. This doesn't seem like too much of a daunting task anymore. Whereas before, I would have almost rather put my hand in a blender than have to buy every copy of a game twice, Sorry Bethesda, sorry Rockstar, I'm not the person buying Skyrim on every single console you release it for, my bad. That could be all the proof the likes of MSI and Asus need to start making their own decks. Asus has already gone in on gaming phones, so this doesn't feel like much of a step for it to take, but the likelihood is that both of those companies will see the limitations of the Steam Deck and want more. I can see an MSI or ROG deck being sold upwards of $1,000 like the current handheld PCs, and that is going to cut down the potential of buyers real quick. Yeah, this is the only thing that I think's really going to hold it back, is nobody's really found a way to make it price effective. I think the Steam Deck starts at a reasonable place, $400? For a handheld PC that can already come with all the games I already own, that seems fair, For anyone that's like, oh, that's ridiculous, I'm not talking about the $700 version, and I'm also saying that if you buy a Switch, you have to buy a bunch of games for it, So realistically, if I can bring the games I have over, it's probably about the same, I would say, break even, if you got like one of the nicer versions of the Steam Deck. But yeah, MSI or Asus, they would really need to like go above and beyond, have a super ultra pro 4K, you know, it basically cooks waffles for you in order to get people past the stream or the Steam Deck. So honestly, I guess we'll just have to see. I do think it's big brain play of Valve to kind of give companies their operating system and say, hey, if you happen to make a deck system that works with us, here's an operating system that works for it. That probably does save them a bunch of money in terms of research, but I don't really know how much the demand is there for $1,000 handheld gaming. So one of the things that I like most about the Steam Deck is the pricing of it, because it is like almost worth it. I don't travel that much, but I could definitely see a situation of somebody that's like always flying, you know, always getting around town on buses, like something where you don't really have to be paying attention, but you're traveling a lot. Yeah, that's probably 100% worth it, but you know, $1,000 system, I don't know about that. And even on the pricing, Gabe Newell has done interviews talking about specifically that, and he kind of goes into like how hard it was to have the perfect balance of performance and price, and it was kind of painful, which is not exactly encouraging to other people. I want to pick this up and say, oh, it works, it's all fast, and the price point was secondary and painful, but that was pretty clearly a critical aspect to it. The first thing was the performance, and experience was the biggest and most fundamental constraint that was driving us. I would say that the price has to be a difficult spot because, you know, as that other article was saying, if you price it too high for like a mobile PC, I just don't think that the people who are going to spend money on it are really there, dude. But at the same time, as Gabe said, it's crucial to their long-term business plan to have more people buying games more places, so somebody had to do something. I feel like Gabe should have just, you know, kept his mouth shut on this one. You shouldn't have been like, oh, the pricing sucked. You should have been like, dude, it was incredible. Making of this was the best experience of my life. You know, I would be selling every company on how easy it was to make this Stream Deck and how they should all do it, because wouldn't you know it, oh my goodness, it just makes your quality of life better. You don't back down and start being like, yeah, it was kind of painful. Our view is if we're doing this right, we're going to be selling these in millions of units, and it's clearly going to be establishing a product category that ourselves and other PC manufacturers are going to be able to participate in, and that's going to have long-term benefits for us, so that's the sort of frame in which we're thinking about this. Yeah, you guys might be selling millions of units, but that's where the problem comes in for other people making it, is they have to price it way higher to make it competitive, because it still costs a lot to, you know, get all these things made. Like, yeah, when you're selling millions of units, making $6 a unit ain't that bad, but when, you know, it costs you $500 to build it, and, you know, you're only gonna sell 100,000, $6 suddenly doesn't look as good anymore. It's all about profit margins, profit scales, you know, how much you're selling, all that good stuff. And I just don't think Gabe Newell is at the point yet where mobile gaming is profitable enough for everybody else to start doing it right away. I do think the Steam Deck itself is going to be very successful. I mean, what? People are already selling pre-sales for over retail, and it's like, guys, they're still allowing pre-sales. Like, it's okay. It's not worth it to pay somebody to pay for the thing that you were about to pay for anyways. For the sake of gaming, I hope it does well, because it would be super embarrassing if this ended up being like $1 billion loss, dude. That's never too fun to read about. We don't have a tie-in ratio. We don't say, oh, we have to sell 8 games for each one of these, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Our calculus is more, is this the right product, and is it a great way to test our assumption that there's a huge amount of value, both to game developers and game players, on extending the PC ecosystem in this direction? That's the real test more than anything else. Valve competitor Tim Sweeney of Epic Games liked the handheld too, calling it an amazing move by Valve. Alright, yeah, whatever, bro. I guarantee you they definitely did the math on if this was going to be profitable or not. You know, I feel like that definitely happened. I also feel like the assumption that there's a demand for mobile gaming isn't something that's that much of a gamble. You know, you're not a hero for assuming that's in demand, because the Switch is killing it. And of course, the game developers are all on board with this. Like, listen, I'm excited for it too, bro, but I just love Tim Sweeney's like, this is a great idea. Yeah, of course, you want to sell more Fortnite skins, okay? If 12-year-olds are spending mom's credit card everywhere, your profits go through the roof. Nothing wrong with that. That's okay, dude, but you guys are acting like Mr. Krabs. Money, money, money. And that's alright, I get it. I'm a big fan of a hefty bag myself, but let's at least calm down and act a little bit more honest and be like, yo, dude, if this takes off, everyone in the gaming industry is going to make a lot more money. Let's not pretend that you're like doing charity work for just pennies a day, feeding kids in Africa by making a Stream Deck that's going to make you and everyone in your industry way richer. Let's just be honest about getting that bag. Go buy a boat, go buy a yacht, go buy a jet like a normal rich person, name it the LMAO You Guys Suck Express, and let us know that we're peasants. Jokes aside, guys, I do think this is a super big brain play, and I think long-term Valve establishing themselves as the OS on these things is gonna make them and anybody involved in their business a lot of money, so good for them. I just figured it was worth talking about because I like video games and all that stuff. And yeah, on that note, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. If you didn't enjoy it, that's okay too. Whatever, you know, I'm an idiot. It's alright. Subscribe if you're new, like, comment, all that good stuff. Check out the merch. A link to it can be found in the description down below. And last but certainly not least, use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. It's fantastic. It's a great way to get your energy up. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.